Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in front of us today, we're going to be taking a look at the newly released OnePlus 13R. So I did recently open up the OnePlus 13. In this video, I won't be going into too much detail inside of the settings because I did do that in the OnePlus 13 video. However, I will talk about some of the specs with this device, kind of compare it to the OnePlus 13, and then also I will run some benchmarks to actually see the difference between this device and the OnePlus 13 in terms of power. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Starting off the price, this does go for $599 right now, and compared to the OnePlus 13, which does go for $899, there is a $300 difference. So taking a look at the box, very similar to OnePlus's fashion, just 13 with an R. It does say OnePlus on the very bottom, just a nice clean red box. On the back, we do get some information, like for example, the RAM. This does come with 12 gigabytes RAM, unlike the 16 that the OnePlus 13 offers. And then this is in the Nebula Noir color, so that's going to be the dark color, the black color that they have. And then they also do have a white color, just like the OnePlus 13. I forgot the name, but it was Astral Trail, something like that. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. So opening this up, sliding it out of the box, here is the inside, and compared to the OnePlus 13 unboxing, we did get a black box. We do get a red box with this. We probably do have some pamphlets in here, and then we do get our SIM ejection tool, so don't really need to look at that. Just put that to the side, and then on the inside we are immediately revealed with our phone. Putting this to the side real quick and taking a look at the accessories we get. So even though this is the more budget device, we still do get our charging brick, and this device does charge up to 80 watts, which is still super fast. And I believe, especially in the States, the OnePlus 13 does charge at 80 watts max. However, in some other countries, it does go up to 100. So in the States, you'll get the same charging speeds. And then we also do have our classic red cable, still USB-A to USB-C. All right, so taking a look at our device, it is inside of this plastic or paper-like pouch. So opening it up to reveal our phone, here's a look at our OnePlus 13, and honestly, I am loving this phone. This is looking really nice, and first impressions wise, I think the feeling and the looks and the design is actually better than the OnePlus 13. I am liking the side rails more than the OnePlus 13. The OnePlus 13 is a little weird to hold in the hand. The sides are curved, however, they're not thick enough, so when you're holding it, it doesn't feel like it's in your hand. It feels like it'll fall at any moment. However, with my first impressions, this phone already feels a lot better in my hand, and I think this is the better designed phone in my opinion. So quickly taking a look at this back, we do have our OnePlus logo right there, and we do have our triple camera layout with our flashlight, very similar to what you have on the 13. I will get into the specs once I do power this phone on. Again, our side rails are completely flat. It does resemble the iPhone a little bit, but I don't really think that's an issue. I feel like whatever's good, just go with it. We do have our USB-C charging port and our SIM card tray right there. We do have our speakers down here, and then up top, I think we have our microphone, and we also do get our IR blaster on the budget device of the OnePlus 13 as well. Again, something I appreciate OnePlus for is they do have all these accessories, plus they still do include a plastic film or a plastic screen protector, so right out of the box you're able to protect your screen from any minor scratches, and honestly it's applied perfectly. I don't think I will be taking it off. So powering it on or booting it up, here we obviously have our OnePlus logo. On the side, or the left side, we still do have our slider right here. Again, I love this. It's mute, silent, and then you can just have it on speaker. Just a really nice implementation of that side button. All right, so quickly getting some of the specs out of the way. Again, we do have 12 gigabytes RAM. Unlike the OnePlus 13, we do get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so that is the previous generation chipset. However, I've been using my S24 Ultra the longest compared to all my other devices, and that does have the 8 Gen 3 chipset as well. It is a little more overclocked because it is the 4 Galaxy version. However, that chipset was perfect. It was one of the best phones that I've used with that chipset. Very powerful chipset compared to a lot of devices, and just handled everything with a breeze. So honestly, even though the 8 Elite chipset is going to be better than the 8 Gen 3, I still do think for the $300 less that you're paying for this device, the 8 Gen 3 is a perfect chipset. Also, we still do get a 6,000 milliamp hour battery with this device as well, so you're really not missing too much in my opinion in terms of specs. Honestly, the OnePlus 13R is the more price to performance device in my opinion compared to the OnePlus 13. Even though this is a perfect device, it runs very smoothly, it's a really good device. For $600, I don't know if you can get anything better. So let me go ahead and quickly go through this setup. I won't bore you guys with this. Again, if you really do want to check those out, go ahead and check out my OnePlus 13 video. I do go in depth with all the settings. but this one right here is just a quick first impression and an unboxing video. Alright, so I quickly went ahead and set up the device. Nothing there, just very simple and basic things. I did go ahead and set up my fingerprint and also my facial scan. I do want to quickly talk about the fingerprint sensor. So we do have an optical fingerprint sensor. Basically, it does shine light at your finger, and I am noticing compared to the 13R is a little lower. This is an issue that I had with the Samsung Galaxy S10 series a long time ago. Samsung did finally fix that. OnePlus did a good job with the 13. As you can see, it's up top unlike the bottom right here. And again, this does get very annoying just doing this right here instead of where my finger would naturally go. And again, it is a little slower because it is optical. However, it's not less secure. It's still very good, and a lot of devices do still use the optical. It's just that the ultrasonic one is going to be the better option. Again, we also do have our facial scan, works perfectly, super fast, just like the 13, so no issues on that end. I do want to quickly touch upon the cameras. We do have a 50 megapixel wide, 50 megapixel telephoto, and also a 8 megapixel ultra wide. So the ultra wide is a lot lower compared to the 13. We do have a 50-50-50 layout right here, and then also for our selfie camera, we do have a 16 megapixel camera, unlike the 32 megapixel on the 13. So quickly taking a look at our video settings compared to the 13. For our rear camera, we don't really get too many differences in terms of resolution. However, for our rear facing selfie camera, we do get 1080p as our max limit for our resolution, unlike the 4K that we do get on the regular 13. So overall, so far, my first impressions, I honestly do think this phone is better designed compared to the 13, the regular 13. The 13R is going to be the budget device. It's $300 cheaper. I will have to use it a little more to really compare it. We do get a smaller screen just by a tad bit. I believe this is 6.72 and this is 6.84 or something like that, so a very minimal difference. And then we also do get a lower resolution. However, you really can't tell unless you're pixel peeping. So again, no issues on that end. We also do get the AquaTouch 2.0 technology on this, so if you do spill water on here or if you're using it out in the rain, you won't really have any issues. The IP rating is a little lower. This one does support blast, so you can blast water with this. You can just throw somewhere. This does have the better water resistance, but again, not a lot of people will be doing that. It is good to have it. However, so far with previous devices that didn't have that specification, I've never had any issues. Finally, with this device, I do want to run a Geekbench 6 CPU benchmark and a 3D Mark benchmark just to compare the scores to the one on the OnePlus 13. So we'll go ahead and start with the Geekbench 6. We'll go ahead and do the CPU benchmark, and then after that, I will go ahead and run the 3D Mark benchmark and compare the scores with both these devices. Quickly taking a look at the CPU benchmark. So here are our results. Go ahead and open that up. For our single core, we do have a 2167. As for our multi-core score, we do have a 6386. And on our OnePlus 13, we do have a 3026 and a 9211. So we do get a pretty large performance upgrade compared to the 13R. However, as I said, I have used the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset on my S24 Ultra. I used that device and the performance on that device was amazing. So this device is definitely not lacking, and don't be fooled by just these scores. This doesn't tell the whole story. Day-to-day usage, you won't really be able to tell too much of a difference unless you're doing some hardcore gaming on your phone. Really, you're not going to feel that difference. So let's go ahead and move on to our 3D Mark test. We'll go ahead and open this up. All right, I will be doing a wildlife extreme stress test. So once I do start this, I'll go ahead and let it run. It's like a 20-minute test. Once that's over, we'll go ahead and compare the scores again with the OnePlus 13. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a bit. Now that our final test is complete, let's go ahead and take a look at these scores. So starting off with our best loop score, we did get a 4,876. As for our lowest, we did get a 2,773. So it is a little warm to the touch, which is normal. And then our stability is going to be 56.9%. So not too high, but it's not too bad. I've seen worse. So here we can see our loops. Every loop, you can see the score for each one. We did go down, and then we did, I guess, go up. So it did probably cool down, bring down the performance. And then again, it did start heating up again, and the performance did go down. And then if we do take a look at the very bottom, we can see that we dropped from 40% to 28%. So that is going to be a 12% loss. Not too bad. As for our temperature, we did go from 35 degrees Celsius to 47 degrees Celsius, and our frame rate was 12 to 34. Here's a look at our OnePlus 13, 6,592, and then 4,416, and a better stability at 67%. And then we can see our temperature 33 to 48. As for our frames, not too bad. Our lowest for the OnePlus was 13. It did go up to 46, so pretty good for the OnePlus 13. But again, these are not bad. The scores on this are very normal, and again, in day-to-day usage, this will be really good, and it's a powerful chipset. So that is basically going to wrap it up for this device. For now, I'm impressed with this device. Really nice device. I am really loving the design of this device, and honestly, I do think this is a very nice price to performance device. So again, that will basically wrap it up for this video. As always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.